Good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Bible class with Andre and Betty. We're continuing our studies from the book of Exodus, the book of redemption. And today's focus is going to be wise counsel. Counsel that is wise. But being wise does not mean that it has God's approval. And we will see as we go through the scriptures that this counsel came to Moses and he followed these instructions without asking God about it. So we're in Exodus chapter 18, beginning at verse 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out, out of Egypt. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back. So at some point, Moses sent his wife back to Midian with her family. And verse 3, and her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. So the name Gershom means a stranger. And the name of the other was Eleazar. For the God of my father said he was mine help. And so Eleazar's name means God is help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses in the wilderness, where he encamped at the Mount of God, that is, in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. Verse 6. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. Notice he did not kiss Zipporah or even mention her. He spoke to his father-in-law. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. Verse 9, and Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. Verse 10, and Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who had delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who had delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Verse 11, now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. So Jethro talked about the Lord, and he probably knew the Lord, but yet Moses, for the first time, will not get his directions from the Lord. And so verse 12 says, and Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering, he's religious, and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. Verse 13. And it came to pass on the morrow, this is where the problem is going to come in, that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from morning until evening. Verse 14, and when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning to even? Verse 15, and Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. Verse 16, when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them to know the statutes of God and his laws. Verse 17, and Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. That is, having the people wait all day for his judgment and doing the job by himself. So Jethro says to him in verse 18, thou wilt surely wear away, both you and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. And so in Numbers chapter 11, Moses had not recognized that the job was too heavy for him. And God had not told him that it was too heavy for him. But in Numbers chapter 11, verse 14, Moses will understand and say that he's not able to bear these people, they're cumbersome all by himself. And so the instructions Jethro is going to give him is good counsel. It's just that he didn't ask for the Lord, and the difference will be that when God instructs Moses, God will put the Spirit of God in these elders, whereas Moses is just going to pick able men under the instructions of Jethro. So verse 19, Jethro says, hearken now unto my voice, I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. Verse 20, and thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. And you'll have to read Numbers 11:14 to see this difference that I'm talking about. Verse 21, moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. Verse 22, and let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou wilt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. Verse 24, key word. So Moses listened or hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel. Up to this point, Moses followed the commandments of the Lord. He didn't do things independently of God's direction. So verse 25 again, and Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. Verse 26, and they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. And just for continuity, since I mentioned this passage in Numbers 11, I'm gonna read part of that, and so that it'll be so that you can see what I'm saying. In verse 14, let's look at verse 10. Then he have these judges, but Moses heard the people complaining and weeping. And so in verse 14, Moses says, I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. So he's saying now what Jethro had said to him, that this was too heavy for him. Verse 15, and if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand. If I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness or my inability. Verse 16, and the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And the Lord says, and I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. And it goes on from there. So Jethro's is a godly man. It's just that Moses didn't speak to God. He just followed what Jethro said. That was not a bad thing, but yet it was not sufficient to lead these people through what they had to go through without God's approval and the Spirit of the Lord being put upon the people. So that's our lesson today, and we'll continue next time. Bye.